Hello and welcome to the No One Asked You podcast. This series, I am once again joined by my wonderful co-host, that darn Kitty.
Dorkus and I are sharing our experience reading Warbreaker for the first time. Each episode, we will summarize what we've read while discussing the experience along the way.
This is Warbreaker Breakdown, and today we discuss chapters 6 through 11.
6 through 11!
Yes, and a very exciting discussion we shall have. So, Kitty and I just finished recording our Hero of Ages discussion for chapter 28, and I promised I'd bring it up here. Kitty, I've made the connection between capital B breath in this book and Kaladin breathing in stormlight. That seems interesting. A bit of a connection there, yeah?
Yeah, with my question was, what kind of connection? Is it just breath and breath, or is it a magic connection that you're suggesting?
Right. I'm wondering if there is a through line between all magic systems in the Cosmere, kind of an idea, possibly. Or maybe not, I don't know.
It could just be the idea, the essence, the symbolism of breathing and breath just coming through in Sanderson's work. It might just be that idea. But either way, fascinating stuff, and we don't know how things connect in Cosmere yet. So
yeah, although I do get the sense that when Kaladin breathes in stormlight and he feels electrified, he has energy, etc. He's got a full battery, so to speak. And when characters receive breath, they heighten, they become more alert, more aware of their surroundings, which they feel like slightly divergent, but not totally different things.
So where does the breath come in with Mistborn?
That I am not sure. I did think that question, but I have not figured it out yet.
Well, we don't know. We haven't finished Mistborn, so there might be extra stuff.
How does the mist attack folks? Didn't the mist creature try to go in through Vin's ear or something like that?
I think you were thinking of that. I remember that. It was trying to stab her or touched her, and then you were talking about the ear.
I don't particularly care to go back and reread that chapter, though, to find out.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure it'll... Oh, but if it did go after the ear, maybe it was going for the earring, which we think might be hemallergic in nature.
Yeah.
It's all coming together.
Yeah, so in the Mistborn sort of thing, we've got blood going on, and blood and guts, because the metal burns in their stomach. But these other two involve breath.
Yeah. Well, we'll figure it out eventually, I am sure. We've got a nice chunk of chapters in Warbreaker. It feels like quite a bit has happened, and yet not that much at the same time.
Yeah.
I really like Bluefingers.
Yes, I did not expect to like him.
Me either. He's a delightful character, I think.
Yeah.
We get, what was the name? Bright Vision the True?
Bright Vision the True. Who is that?
The female goddess that speaks with Blushweaver, not Bright Vision, Blushweaver.
Yes, yeah. Blushweaver. I think that's a beautiful, great name for a goddess of, well, truth. But yes, a very sexy goddess. We get an idea that seems like all of the returned are very pretty.
Yes. We get Sousa Braun.
Somewhat. Shadow Sousa Braun. I don't know whether have we met him? I don't think so.
We've got something. And we get a couple of bantery mercenaries.
Yeah, they were a lot of fun.
Let's get this chapter by chapter then, shall we? I actually took the time this week to write out the summaries, so they should be a bit smoother this time around. In chapter 6, Ciri arrives at her destination. She orders her soldiers to return to Idris before being shuffled into the palace. That was very quick, yeah?
Yeah. I felt bad for them, but, she basically, as far as she could, she just had to yell out, like, look, you guys can leave, essentially, is what all that happened there.
Mm-hmm.
I felt so horrible for her, but then I did wonder, will these soldiers be okay? Because remember, I was worried about them last time.
Me too. And it's like, what if she didn't manage to get that out? Because, like, Treladies or whatever is, like, shoving her into the black corridor. It happens very quickly.
Yeah, and Treladies is the reason that I didn't expect to like Blue Fingers. Because I was like, okay, so everybody who has anything to do with the God King is just going to be this kind of guy. That's it. Yeah, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Indeed. To Ciri's surprise, the servants are wearing very revealing clothing, which is something she herself will probably have to get used to.
Mm-hmm.
She arrives in a black room with maroon drapes. The servants undress and prepare her for her encounter with the God King. As she bathes, she's joined by Bluefingers, the head scribe and steward, as well as a young boy. Bluefingers is surprised by Ciri's discomfort by the presence of a male during her bathing time, and so the two of them turn around. Ciri reveals that she has not been properly prepared for the coming encounter. Bluefingers offers rules and expectations, including that she is not even allowed to speak to the God King, lest Suzebron have her killed. Ciri exits the bath and the servants continue their preparations. As one servant seeks to brush out knots in her hair, Ciri insists they cut it, after which she regrows it to a more appropriate length. So that's some new hair lore we didn't know about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ciri laments her situation and wonders how typical the feelings of this circumstance are for other women. Bluefingers brings a doctor, an older man, in the hope that his age will make Ciri more comfortable. Ciri is shocked to find out that the doctor is an awakener. Now ready for the encounter, she sees her reflection and is taken aback by the beauty and color she sees. She stands before the door to the God King's chamber. Bluefinger gives her instruction on how to present herself and what signals the God King will give to proceed. He wishes her good luck and gently prods her in. So that is a brief summary of the chapter.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of black.
Yeah.
The black hallways, the black walls. We had a discussion in the last chapter regarding whether or not black was all color or absence of color or so on.
Mm-hmm.
What do you make of the palace being black?
It makes me think of it being older than everything else. That it's a remnant from the previous times. That's actually what I was thinking. That it was before this, but then inside, obviously, it's now different colors, and each room has its own color and all of that. So yeah, it's been modernized, but this blackness. I was wondering if it also had to do with maybe the God King is so tired of just the brightness of his own aura. So that's why he spends time in this black place a lot of the time.
Kind of like what Spook has to deal with.
Yeah, so it's like it's actually overwhelming. So it's just better to be in the dark.
Interesting. I did consider that, but I think lent my supposition more toward black is all color. Therefore, because he cannot pick a color. Because I think at some point, one of the characters comments on the God King being king of all colors cannot be partial to any one individual one.
Yeah. But you would think that he could still do that with, you could still have white. White can also be of all colors.
Yeah. She's basically attacked by the servants as they undress her and set her in the bath. And as she's bathing, she's trying to find the best of it. The lifeless weren't as bad as she had been led to believe. The colors weren't as bad as she thought they might be. Maybe the God King isn't so bad either. I don't know. I still found the lifeless to be pretty disconcerting.
Yeah, but she had the idea that they were like skeletal, crazy creatures. Like she had a completely different knowledge. She thought that they don't look human, really. She thought they looked like monsters, but they're just gray people, essentially.
Yeah. They weren't the skeletal beings she had expected.
I love the way that the way that she realizes there's a man's voice in the room.
Yes. So Bluefingers' first line is, "We're right on schedule. Perfect." And as far as introductory lines go, I find that one to be likable. We get a glimpse into because we don't know it's Bluefingers yet.
Mm-hmm.
From that one line, we intuit that this is someone who is studious and efficient. And those are qualities that I enjoy. So, but then, yes, as you say, Siri freezes. She kind of panics. She tries to cover herself. What's this guy doing here? A man with a boy.
Yeah, and he's great where he's like, oh yes, okay, Idris, right, you guys are weird about that. And also he like the way he says, but I'm a royal servant far beneath your station, so it doesn't matter that it's like being naked in front of a dog or a cat. Like you're not supposed to care.
Yeah. Which it really highlights the cultural difference here in a way that I found to be enjoyable. Though I am with Siri on this one.
Yeah.
He does refer to her as vessel, but it does not carry, it's still gross, but it does not carry the same animosity that it had when Treladies used it.
Absolutely, yeah. Like I get irritated just reading it, like when he says it.
Yeah. We get Bluefingers' real name, which is Haverseth, which I think is a good Sanderson name right there. Sometimes he swings and misses, in my opinion, to be honest, but Haverseth is a cool name. So yeah, he's the head steward, the scribe, and he makes sure that everything runs on time. There's a bit of Cogsworth in him.
I don't remember Cogsworth.
Beauty and the Beast?
Oh, yes.
The servants are preparing her gown for the evening as they speak, which means they work very quickly. We get a repetition later on with the food with regard to how quickly the servants can work, which is impressive. I appreciate Siri explaining that she had no clue what to do or what to expect, and Bluefingers is like, oh, well, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, oopsie.
Yeah.
I like that he does tell her, and he doesn't like pronounce judgment. He just says that that's interesting. It's not like, well, why did they send you here like this or anything like that? It's just, no, okay, fine. Well, it's just because it's inefficient to have that conversation. So we're just going to talk about what you need to know.
Yeah. He informs her that no one can speak to the God King. None of them can. And Siri asks the important question, how does he make judgments and rulings? And apparently that's done by the Council of Gods, which I would have expected to be done by the priests rather than the gods. I don't...
Well, the priests are, I suppose, they pronounce things through the gods, or the gods speak through the priests, maybe?
Yeah.
It's true.
It's very strange. Or does that mean that Susebron talks to the gods? I didn't get that sense from the Light Song chapter.
No. I wonder if Susebron, because it does at some point say like through his priest, so he speaks to priests, or so they say.
Exactly. And at this point, I'm starting to imagine what the encounter will look like. And I keep imagining it more and more the closer we get to her being shoved into the room. And I'm asking myself, is she going to speak? Or is she not? And then I'm also asking myself, will Susebron try to bait her into speaking? Or will he not? What was your thought process there?
I was not thinking he would do any sort of baiting or anything like that. I didn't think of... I just thought of him as this dark, mysterious thing that I don't have any expectations of, except that it's going to be scary. The only thing I was focusing on was whether Siri was going to speak. I was like, Siri, every time I read these the rules like that he gave her. I was like, please listen, please, like, because I just don't want her to go in there. I would really wanted her to just go in there and listen, do what she needed to do, and she did.
Yes.
Well, we'll speak about it in the next chapter. Yeah.
Yes. But yes, as you say, when it is necessary for him to communicate, he gives his judgments to the priests. And I'm sorry, I don't trust that.
Yeah.
And it seems like the gods rule the kingdom, and Suzebron is Suzebron may, if we ever actually do get to hear him speak, feel redundant, unimportant, useless,
Mm-hmm.
in a not dissimilar way to how Lightsong feels and how Ciri felt. But
I don't know what kind of character, whether he even is a person. Like, what kind of brain do we even have here?
Yeah. And it really becomes this recurring thing for me throughout this section of the book. And we might get into it a bit later, or I might just say my bit about it now. But why do none of the gods, and why does Ciri not take command? Why accept the limitations imposed upon them by the priests? If the gods and Ciri have power, why can Ciri simply not say, I want to go out into the city. I am the queen. Make it happen.
I can see it not really working for Ciri, because Ciri is basically a special captive. Okay, I can, and she's not actually divine. Whereas with the gods, they are supposedly considered divine. They're supposed to be gods. So I get your point with them being able to just go, okay, well, come, servants, let me out of the circle here. This is let me leave this. It seems, I don't know, it seems like there's like some sort of cultural understanding that that's just not what is done. So maybe just, I don't know. Also, we have the idea that these gods die. They do sometimes die. Why do they do that? Is that because they do start trying to step out of line? That's another thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is all illusion. I don't trust the priests. Nope.
Yeah.
And the lore around it, the explanation is, oh no, but the God King dealing with anything, so base as Earth and humans. Oh, that's just not how things work. It's not worth it. We can't let him speak to people. Are you mad? Are you absurd? So, yeah, that's just very convenient for the priests then.
Right. If a person's going to be a god, they can't be seen by the masses to be fallible in some way. So you need that air of mystique about it.
Yeah. Then how fallible is he? That's what I'm like. Is there even a person in there?
Right? We get a small monologue by Bluefingers, which only served to make me like him more. Which is to say, he says, look, I've done my research. I know your character. So please let me be direct with you, perhaps more direct than you might normally appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the situation. You could die if you utter a word. So please don't, because I don't want you to die.
Yeah, take this very seriously. We need this. Don't mess up.
Yeah. I will read one specific line of the monologue, which I think is thematically important, filled with irony. I realize that you are accustomed to being a very important person. Indeed, you still are that important, if not more so. They're all the irony.
That's one of my highlights.
Yes.
Yes.
It made me feel sad for her.
Yeah. She's accustomed to being unimportant, so it's quite interesting. It made me think, oh, maybe she'll now think, oh, I get to be important now, or I'm actually used to being unimportant, so this is kind of it helps me because I need to remember that I'm unimportant when it comes to the god. I don't know, but she didn't, and I didn't need that. It was just for me thinking through the themes here.
Right. So Ciri is made suitably afraid, which is understandable.
Like, I agree, suitably. She needs to be afraid.
Yes. Eventually, she finishes the bath, And then she gets into another bath, which is basically her being dunked in perfume, as I understood it, right?
Mm-hmm. As opposed to being massaged with perfume. She was like, yeah, no, this is fun.
Yep. They pat her down. They start preparing her. At this point, we do get the comment that I had alluded to earlier about how the God King represents all colors in each tone.
Mm-hmm.
So, and at this point, one of the servants is messing around with the snarls in her hair. Siri says to just cut it, and then she grows it back, and it makes her hungry. It takes some degree of energy, but she can do it. I think that's a neat bit of lore and power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she can, when she hears that long hair is considered beautiful, she grows it below, all the way down her back as well. Very cool, and you're like, Rapunzel, Tangled vibes. Magic hair, yeah.
Yeah. Flowing hair is seen as beautiful in Hallandren. Even one of the younger serving women calls it beautiful, which, as you come to learn over the next few chapters, the serving people do not like to speak.
Yeah, I was excited when she whispered, though, because I was like, oh, okay, she's going to get something out of these serving women. Like, these are your companions. She's going to try to speak to them at some point if she gets close enough or bored enough. I was hoping so, but they do not.
Right.
They shut that down. But still, that was really sweet. Just that it's comforting. It's just somebody is there and somebody just said, oh, it's beautiful.
Right. And then we get about a page's worth of self-reflection on essentially womanhood and coming of age.
Mm-hmm.
How she had wanted a bit more time to be a person before having to get married and have children, and how all of that, her childhood and her choice of partner, were ripped from her. Fate had taken that opportunity away from her. So she's not ready for the responsibilities.
Yeah, as a 17-year-old, you are not.
Correct.
It's not ideal.
Yeah.
Like yes, sure, your body is capable. We understand this. But
yes.
It's just not. No.
She wonders if all women feel this way. What do you think, Kitty, since you are the female here?
Well, I think this has got to do with the time period we're supposed to be sort of kind of thinking of. So it's not very liberal. You don't just choose. Like, she even thinks about her sister and her siblings getting partners as well. Her station is one that has limited choices. She doesn't really get to be with people she loves. So I don't know if it's all women. It's all noble women, probably, but maybe culturally it's still that way down in the peasantry, where fathers trade daughters and things like that. So yeah, it's an old-fashioned idea that's not something I'm familiar with.
I'm glad.
The only thing I can relate to, the only thing I can relate to is the line where she said she wants to raise horses and not get married. That was basically me. That's what I wanted to do when I was young. I was just like, I don't need to get married. I'll probably won't find someone. So I doubted that I could find someone. So I was like, I would rather just spend time with animals and just have a farm or whatever somehow. That was not to be. But yes, that I highlighted that line because it was so relatable. And then she grew out of it. She said she grew out of it, which is essentially it's what I did too. So very relatable. But otherwise, no, this is not what being a woman is like nowadays, at least in Western culture.
Cool. I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah.
She wonders why Blue Fingers wears brown when all of the other servants are wearing different colors. I kind of presumed that was because he is perhaps not allied to any one individual god, but like to the complex itself and making sure everything runs smoothly.
I wonder, because sometimes they appear with colors, don't they? Some servants have colors on, sometimes they don't. I'm still confused. I need confirmation.
Yeah. Blue Fingers does return with an older, let's say, doctor, again, it's a likable quality of his that he went out of his way to switch his plans and pick a doctor that he felt would make Siri feel a bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
So his
Likeable
likability
points all the way up. Yeah.
yeah, they are stacking.
Mm.
But it turns out that the doctor is an awakener, and somehow she feels even more unclothed than
Yeah, she's being touched by one that doesn't, because she notices just a little bit that, I mean, this guy doesn't have that many breaths, but yeah, she notices the colors are a bit brighter, so she's, oh my goodness, and she's scared of his touch, and she feels more exposed there. That's just showing us how little they know about awakeners, how scared they are of them.
Yes.
We had obviously had ideas of this, but this is now her confronting that this is the reality, and they're not just evil by being awakeners. Like, they don't now want to harm you immediately, but it's perverse is one of the ways that it's described. It's perverse for them. They are inherently evil because of what they're doing, because they're taking breath. But yeah, she's realizing, oh, they don't just come out of the woodwork and kill you. they have jobs and things.
Right. She continues to worry about her situation for a while, but the servants continue to get her dressed. She sees herself in a mirror and she thinks it's beautiful. Absolute, one of the most amazing things she has ever seen. It's so beautiful, she whispers, "Thank you."
Yeah. It's a lovely moment, even though we know it's preparing her for a horrible moment, so we're scared. But just that she can find something beautiful, something that she hasn't experienced before. But that's a good moment. But then you're like, oh yeah, this is how much is happening for this woman. She's learning all different things about reality, and it's crazy. But you know what? I think she handles it all very well.
Yeah. And did you get the sense the dress is the book cover, blue and white?
I didn't. I think I was just thinking of the dress being very large and bulky, and I don't know about the cover.
Gotcha.
Let me check. Yeah, I don't look at the. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it does make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that like, bear in mind it's I'm reading my Kindle, so I don't see the cover as much.
Fair. Blue Fingers takes her to the chamber, the sleeping chamber. He offers her another warning and tells her basically what the process is. She's not allowed to look at him. She just has to undo the clothes, drop them, kneel, and wait for the signal. He's going to tap on a post or his chair or something, and that's the signal to go do the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll have a discussion, I think, in the next chapter regarding whether or not there was an expectation that the thing was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed the last sentence of the chapter, which is describing Blue Fingers gently prodding her forward and into the room. There was something very cinematic about the end of this chapter. I would love to see this play out.
Mm-hmm. I was worried that we were going to go to a different POV, whatever. I was disappointed at the end, because I was thinking, no, now the next chapter is going to be away from her, but it actually continues. So I was very happy about that.
Agreed. So let me read the chapter 7 summary that I wrote. And then before we actually discuss it, we'll have that question that I asked a moment ago, or the discussion that I brought up a moment ago. Chapter 7. Siri finds herself in the room with the God King, a large fire burning nearby. She briefly and accidentally looks at Suzebron. His eyes twinkle. She kneels and waits for his signal, fearing what might happen if she doesn't hear it. She's very afraid. Suzebron does not seem to do a thing. Reflecting on her own stubbornness, she waits despite the discomfort. Then we get a POV shift to Lightsong, who is watching fireworks. Larimar, or Scoot, comes to check on Lightsong, who then, on no uncertain terms, insists that Larimar go enjoy the festivities in the city with his family. I was very fond of that part, by the way, Kitty.
Mm-hmm.
Blushweaver the Beautiful, goddess of honesty, approaches Lightsong. The two banter, with Lightsong claiming his lack of compliments for her is due to being made speechless, essentially. Blushweaver is uncertain if he's joking or not. She offers herself to him, but he rejects the offer. He thinks of the woman he has imagined from his past. Blushweaver lightly takes a jab at him for having slept with Calmseer rather than her. Lightsong thinks Calmseer was the only honorable god. And I see a typo here. I wrote Clamseer by mistake. Blushweaver is nervous about the presence of a new queen with royal blood. She's heard of discrepancies regarding the ability of the gods to have children. She wants Lightsong to lend his support to the pro-war faction of gods. The two part ways, and Lightsong tries to distract himself from his worries. Busy chapter.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's have this discussion. Were you expecting Susebron to do the deed?
Yeah, I was. I was
Interesting.
expecting that was, yeah. I mean, I was with Siri in the fact that I was scared. I was scared for her. So, yeah, my expectation was fully that it was going to happen. But yeah, the whole waiting thing and bowing, I was all in with Siri, feeling all the things she was feeling.
Interesting. So, I suppose I don't know where this impression of Sanderson and his writing must have come from. I guess I have it in my mind that he is a generally positive or wholesome author.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I don't really know where that idea came from. And he certainly gets very dark in Way of Kings with Kaladin and in other moments in Mistborn and so on. I guess there was a part of me that thinks Susebron essentially violating Ciri at her age was too dark a path, too dark for a Sanderson book. So I don't think I ever really expected the event to happen.
I wasn't. Yeah, I think I wasn't thinking in a meta sense whether it would happen in a Sanderson book or not. I was properly just being a blind reader and being with her. So I wasn't thinking that way about whether this or that. And plus, I did. That being said, at the same time, even the word sex being used in the text was surprising to me. So, yeah, I thought that somehow, I mean, the discussion of what is supposed to happen to her anyway is enough of a violation. Like, that everyone's okay with it. That this is what's supposed to happen and everything. That's pretty dark in my estimation anyway. So, the fact that it's not happening, yeah, okay, yes, it definitely is a much better deal for Ciri that it's not happening, but it's still a dark topic.
Very much so.
Yeah, so I guess that's where I was at, where it's like, yeah, we're tackling this topic anyway. So, yeah, and he does trauma very well.
He does do trauma very well. Look, I wasn't certain it wasn't going to happen, and I was very much in the moment of it. This is more of a hindsight observation, I think. This idea that going through with it might have been too far for Sanderson. Possibly. But I don't know. There's still a lot of books that he's written that we'll get through, and he has gotten quite dark in ways I did not expect at all. So,
yeah, I would expect him to do it tastefully anyway. So it's not like we would. So it could indeed happen, but it would not be gratuitous for the reader. But it's still, you would have the effect on the character. So I think you would deal with it pretty well.
Yeah. So the door has shut behind her. There's a fire in the room, and Sanderson references the fire a fair amount each time she's in the room, so I feel like there's something important going on there, but I don't quite know what yet.
Yeah, the size of the fire is different on different days.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole point is that she's supposed to have the fire. She thinks that she's supposed to have the fire there just so that she can burn the sheets, because that's one of the instructions. Interesting that they have to burn the sheets. The official explanation is that, nobody should be allowed to touch the sheets other than her. So
Yeah.
her and the god. Basically, she can touch them because she was there, and the god would never touch them himself and do that. So you have to burn them each time. So it helps. It obviously helps to hide the fact that things haven't happened.
Right. She thinks of Vivenna. It's not the first time she does. She really, I won't say idolizes Vivenna, but she basically thinks that she's perfect and wouldn't mess anything up. But she is determined to do what she must for Idris and her father and so on. She accidentally looks at the God King.
Yeah. I mean, come on. You just come into the room, you're going to... Exactly. It's just very difficult. Like, don't look at that. Okay. Oops.
Right?
Yeah.
And his eyes sparkle. What do you make of that?
Yeah, they glow in the... It seems like they seem to reflect the firelight. So that makes it, just vampire vibes. Just very... Not beautiful, but scary.
Yeah. She's terrified because she looked at him that he'd kill her, but she doesn't do anything. She believes that he's toying with her. I was not upset at all by this interaction. Like I said, going in, I was like, is he gonna bait her, or is she gonna just start talking and throw caution to the wind? All in all, I was very pleased with this.
Yeah, I loved her going through, thinking of what she should do, and he's toying with me, and then okay, Vivenna would have poise, but I'm stubborn, so I'll be fine.
Well, I was just about to highlight that part. Yeah, Vivenna had the poise, but she had the stubbornness. I thought that was an excellent grit and determination moment for her.
Yeah, but I also, in terms of a growing moment, no matter what she claimed or how she felt, in the end she had to bow to authority, just like anyone else. It's quite a mature thing, but obviously it comes from where she lives as well. Everybody else is supposed to be in their place. You don't stand out. So yeah, it was just a very mature thing for her to come to in that moment. That's why I was very pleased with it as well, because I was like, I would be way more frustrated if she just went straight to yapping.
Yeah, I agree. She has to at least try to do it right the first time.
Yeah.
And then
exactly.
After that, we'll see. Then we switch over to Lightsong, who's enjoying the festivities. He's watching the fireworks, and Larimar shows up. Supposedly, he's doing it just to make sure that Lightsong is happy. Lightsong asks how things are outside of the holy prison, which is cheekiness that I appreciate.
Yeah, because it is a prison. You can't leave.
Yeah. And I sincerely enjoyed Lightsong insisting that Larimar go out and enjoy the festivities with his family. Lightsong is like, I'll be okay. Dude, it's an exciting night. Go have fun. I am fine.
And he takes his work too seriously. I'm wondering if that means there's trouble at home.
Ooh, maybe. Which would be concerning. I was concerned it was more with regard to manipulating Lightsong in some way. But what this says to me is that Lightsong puts others' well-being before his own, or at least cares for those around him in some way. It builds Lightsong's likability for me. So he goes off, and then Blushweaver shows up. Yeah?
Yep.
This is the same goddess to whom Bebid was a priest of, right?
I'm not sure.
I think the colors were the same, and he was a patron of a goddess of honesty.
A lady.
So.
Okay.
Anyway, there's a lot of typical Sanderson banter, flirtatious banter between the two, I think. I think it was finely executed. I did appreciate the cheekiness of Light Song's, well, if you are beautiful enough to make me speechless, what is there I can say? So I'm just not going to say anything, because that's like such a backhanded way of avoiding complimenting her.
You just because it's what's the point? She gets it from absolutely everybody, and he just seems like the guy that's always going to take the roundabout way, the more fun, interesting way to address someone. Like, he still managed to compliment her, yes, backhandedly,
but it was on his terms.
Yes, exactly. He's not going to do all the things that he said she wanted him to do, like exclaim how stunning she is in her gown and whatever. He's not going to do that.
Yeah. Now, I get the sense that culturally, looseness, if you know what I mean, amongst the gods is not frowned upon, right? But maybe I'm prejudiced, but I don't necessarily attribute honesty, or it wouldn't be the first thing I would attribute to a person willing to utilize sexual encounters in exchange for political favors.
I don't know if it is in exchange for political favors, because I don't think, well, maybe there would be some character that views it as enough of a reward, but it seems like they have access to as much sex as they can, they feel like. So I don't know about it being a reward.
Well, but Blushweaver is supposed to be uniquely attractive, and the reason she comes here at all, as I interpreted it, was to get Light Song's support in the pro-war faction. That does strike me as a political manipulation, absolutely. If not exchange.
Yeah. I think that, absolutely. The sex is just, or the advance is just part of it. It's just part of the interaction.
Right.
But I see what you mean also as well, in terms of, okay, so using sexual manipulation, whatever, it doesn't seem like an honest thing. But you could frame it as the most honest thing, because she's just letting it all hang out. And it's the most natural thing. So yeah, you can easily make that jump if we're just being all symbolic and metaphorical.
Yeah. An interesting thing to think of. I appreciated the exchange when Light Song is drinking and talking about having hangovers. Blushweaver says, "But we don't get hangovers, for we cannot get drunk." And then Light Song responds, "We can't? Then why am I drinking all this wine?" And Blushweaver essentially responds with, "I can't tell if you're joking or not right now."
Then he has a witty remark for that as well. It's like, it's very wordy, but he's just really witty.
Yeah. Read the chapter, folks, because it's a good one.
There was a highlight that was, so in Kindle, you can have it that, it shows very highly highlighted passages. And one of them with like 2,500 highlights was, "Mocking a woman is like drinking too much wine. It may be fun for a short time, but the hangover is hell." So, because she starts going like, "Wait, are you mocking me? Like, what are you doing here?" And he goes, "Yeah, I would never mock a woman."
Yep. There's also a good moment, again, speaking to Light Song's conscientiousness. He's worried that he's essentially hogging all of the fireworks. So at one point he sends them away, but he's like, "No, I like you guys. You're great. It's just, show other people your work too."
Yeah, and he didn't want them to, them to be in the position that they couldn't please those other gods, because they had run out.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And it's about them. It's not about the other gods, though. It's about them.
Right. He's still thinking about the woman that he thinks is from his past. So that's going to be a big deal. We are, I think at this point, definitely going to get answers about that in this book at some point.
And this is, he does this as soon as she makes the proposition.
Yeah.
And he just has this flash of the woman, and that seems to be, the way I read it, is like, that seems to be what puts him off completely.
Yeah. He declines the offer, And Blushweaver gets upset because Lightsong had slept with Comseer previously. And Comseer is characterized in Lightsong's thoughts as the last honorable returned. So, what happened to Comseer? Did she die? Is she okay?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's what makes me go, why do these what makes a god die? Because they technically should be able to continue.
Maybe she refused to take breath.
Yeah. Is that how it happens? Or is it, well, maybe that's the line they tell everybody, but she was out of line, so and she's a very decent person, so yeah.
So that's some mystery we're gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
Then Blushweaver drops the facade and brings up her concerns over the royal queen bloodline. Essentially, she feels that the gods should be above an issue such as needing royal blood for divine rulership. And so by taking a royal blood queen, they are weakening their position. I see the logic in it.
Yeah. But the fact that they feel she sees a threat from the Idrians is just what? Like, oh no, they're going to come in and they're going to assume because she is a queen now, they'll come in and try and take the kingdom back. It's like, they are terrified of you, guy.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why you're so excited for this, why you are carrying on about this war. And we do find out about how the mini war actually happened.
Yes, and we learn that it happened several generations back, so it's not like Dedalin ever ruled in Halandrin. It was an ancestor.
So an awakener, this Khaled the Usurper, started the mini war, used his knowledge of awakening, biochromatic breath, and created Lifeless and seized the power. So of course it makes sense that after that, the Idrians are very scared of awakeners. Like that's right. The terror of why the royal family went there.
Right.
And 300 years though, come on.
Yeah. We learn that Blushweaver is just very concerned about external threats. And she invites Lightsong into the coalition, the pro-war faction. Lightsong refuses. Blushweaver says, "You'll have to stand for something eventually, Lightsong. You're a god to these people." And Lightsong responds with, "Not by choice." I really do think Lightsong is depressed. Poor guy.
Yeah, I would be. Yeah. He's essentially trapped and has everything he wants, but also doesn't have anything either. It's a crazy set of circumstances.
Yeah.
There's a line that, a bit that comes before that. It seems like Blushweaver is also skeptical about. She's skeptical about why we need an heir at all. And then there's this discussion about discrepancies with the wives.
Oh, yeah.
So essentially of like whether they can procreate at all.
Maybe Comseer became pregnant with Lightsong's child, and so they did away with her.
I don't know why they would do that, though.
I don't know.
Like, why do you get it? Like, if she's pregnant, good. That's what they want. But the only word we have for that is from the palace priests themselves. So we know the priests are the only ones that are telling us about whether there's been pregnancy or copulation at all. Discrepancies in the records, which records of what? Like how many times they tried or pregnancy? What is this? Even if we don't worry about those, there's plenty of other considerations. So there is something fishy because there's been queens before. I feel like there is they have not been able to make babies. And the god is supposed to be able to. Because the whole idea is that you're actually supposed to have another stillborn child. Because that's what the god king was. He was stillborn, then returned. So he was born dead and then returned. And that they view this as he reached enlightenment before even being born.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because being returned is enlightenment.
Yeah. Anyway.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what else to think on that.
Mm.
Lightsong basically calls Blushweaver a slut, and she leaves, and
Really?
she
When?
laughs
What?
at it. Blushweaver says, "You think I'd offer myself to anyone?" And Lightsong says, "Yeah, I do," which is a great exchange.
But she owns it because she owns it because she goes like, yeah, there's at least 3 people I wouldn't. And there's like 20,
Right.
24 gods, yeah.
Right. So then she takes off, and Lightsong tries but fails to enjoy the rest of the evening.
Mm.
Because of what Blushweaver did, not because Larimar wasn't there.
Yeah.
And then we find ourselves in chapter 8, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Ciri wakes up having slept the night on the floor. The God King left whilst she slept. She realizes that because of her bloodline, the God King can't kill her until he had what he wanted, which was a child, probably, I assume here. At the same time, she feels rejected, so she chastises herself for complaining that nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
She moves to the bed and falls back to sleep. She wakes later feeling better. She wakes later feeling a bit better and burns the sheets. Servants kneel outside the room waiting to offer her various clothing options. The clothes are all too revealing for her taste, but she picks the least objectionable one, despite the open midriff. Bluefingers checks up on her. She wants to know what she's supposed to do, but Bluefingers doesn't understand the question. He doesn't quite know either. No one expected Idris to fulfill its end of the agreement. Ciri wants to go horseback riding. While Bluefingers believes they could bring a horse to her, Ciri is dismayed to find that they will not allow her to leave the Court of Gods. After a week, she is allowed to attend the court assembly. Anything else she desires will be brought to her. Bluefingers leaves. Ciri still does not know what to do. She decides to have breakfast. The meal is brought directly to her. She eats, feeling alone and unsatisfied. I really enjoyed the back and forth she had with herself about how she feels rejected, but also glad that nothing happened, but also rejected at the same time.
Yeah.
It was very real and humorous in a way.
Yeah, it's real and humorous, but real is very important in that. It's a strange thing. People would be like, "Oh, how could you even think that way?" But that is it's this weird dynamic of wait, I'm not desirable. You know, it's a great thing.
Yeah.
It's very natural. It's just a normal thing because you are building up all this fear. And then it's like, wait, is there something wrong with me now? Like, wow, I'm not even worthy of being defiled. Okay, that's good for me. But also, what does that mean about me? It's all emotional stuff. It's real.
Yeah. I remember my first read through of this. I was a little bit confused because she had woken up and I was able to gather that she had fallen asleep in that position on the floor, but I wasn't aware until later of the God King having left. So I was like, oh shit, is he going to be upset? What if he tapped while she was asleep? What's happening? But then we find soon enough that he had left. So.
Yeah, I found it so endearing that, I mean, of course she fell asleep. And then she's like lying on her side and she used her dress basically as her blanket during the night.
Yeah, and later on we learn that the more nights that occur, she picks bulkier and bulkier dresses so she can be more comfortable falling asleep down there.
Yeah.
She again takes solace in the power that she has, meaning she can't be killed until they get what they want. So, although I have to wonder, is that what Suzebron wants? Because he's not doing the deed.
But still, I'm glad that she burns the sheets or whatever. She could have said, hey, nothing happened last night or anything. But it's like, she's like, nah, just let them assume that it's consummated. That's good for me.
I think that's the wise political choice, even if she doesn't realize that that's the case.
Mm.
But yeah, she falls back asleep, then wakes up later, still early by Hallandrin's standards, judging from Bluefingers' comment. Like, oh, good, you're up already. And he's surprised by it.
Yeah, she's like, it's noon. She thinks like, it's noon. It's past noon. What's wrong with, huh? Like, yes, this is how they live. Sorry.
Yeah. The servants offer her an array of clothing to pick from, and she picks the least revealing, which has an open midriff.
And it actually is red. Like the vision.
Passion or anger? Oh, yes, the vision. That too.
Mm-hmm. We have a ship, and it's red, a red sea. And remember, I was saying like her arrival is somewhat. It's like that. So yeah, she chooses the red one. It's very important that she chose the red. Even though it's for a frivolous reason, she's just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's not, it's less revealing. Meantime, it's prophetic.
Yeah. So then Bluefingers shows up, and as you pointed out, she essentially lies and says, yep, it happened. So there you go. And we get a really wonderful exchange between the two of them. I really do like Bluefingers. Ciri, being the good and dutiful queen, is like, what are my duties? What do I do? Where do I go? And basically, no one really knows. Bluefingers doesn't know. Like, your duty is to have an heir. Beyond that, no one really expected you to come. Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't plan beyond that. We didn't think.
Right.
We just know what we usually do with wives, but we don't know. Yeah, we just don't know if it's going to be different. So just hang out here for a while.
Yeah. So it's impressed upon Ciri that no one expected this to happen, which is giving her, she's getting drip fed certain political bits of information. And she's informed that she can't go out horseback riding. They can bring a horse into the palace, but she can't go out.
I just laughed at the horseback riding comment, okay? Because the English and just the non-American world laughs at horseback riding because it's like, where else would you ride the horse? Why do you have to call it horseback riding? We call it horse riding.
Anyway. Oh, interesting.
Yes, we call it horse riding because where else would you ride the horse? We don't need to specify where you're riding.
Oh, man. So she can't go out. Now, you do get the sense she can go out to the court of gods after the 7-day wedding jubilation thing.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll have a tiny bit more freedom, but she will ultimately be as cooped up as the rest of the gods.
Mm-hmm. But that makes you think like, okay, does she get to speak to other gods, and does she get to become friends with Lightsong?
Yes, and I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. She can have anything she could possibly want brought to her. We basically learned that most of the rooms in this palace are empty and then set up at request at astonishing speed. So if she needs a dining room, she says, we're dining in here, bring the stuff. And they set it up as a dining room.
Yeah, she expected like the tubs to still be there from previously, and they're gone. And she's like, oh, there must be just chambers full of furniture, tubs and things. I wonder if that's coming back. Like, that's going to be some sort of point that we need later on. I don't know, because it was very belabored, like a whole several sentences about it. So I was like, okay.
Yeah. She tries to goad some of the servants into speaking with her like normal people, but they are very uncomfortable. So she kind of stops, and you feel bad for her. She can't have any friends.
And she thinks about the way it's so silent, because she would eat in the kitchen with the cooks and all of that. That's how she wasn't this highfalutin lady. it was a casual sort of court that they had.
Yeah.
She had 5 dresses as well, only. So, like,
Yeah.
this is just a strange thing.
And what does it do to a psyche that there is no kitchen? You just have the food brought to you. There is no bathroom. You just have it brought to you.
Yeah, everything is just, you don't have, nothing is permanent.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That will have an effect on your psyche.
Yeah. Then we get to chapter 9. Unless there was anything else you wanted to say about 8?
No.
Okay. Vivenna has arrived in Titalir. She finds it ugly. She believes a leader is a person who acts, and she fears that Ciri must be overwhelmed. Parlin, her friend she had brought with her, returns from having scouted ahead. He purchased a hat, which Vivenna insults as being ridiculous. He's a good man, but probably overwhelmed by the city as well. Parlin informs Vivenna that there is a large faction of Idrians in the city. He also scouted a restaurant, but wasn't sure what he was supposed to be looking for. The two enter the restaurant. They wait for their contact, Lemix, to arrive. Parlin leaves as he does not like the setting. 2 men proceed to sit down and inform her that they intend to kill her. That's more or less the highlights of the chapter.
Yeah, that ending, sheesh.
Yeah. I was glad we aren't taking this book chapter by chapter when I read that.
Mm-hmm.
We get more of Vivenna's arrogance in this chapter, I think. I still don't find her unlikable. Like, I still like her, but we had noted her condescension toward Ciri in previous chapters. We also see it here directed at Parlin as well.
Mm-hmm.
That part of her character is being more developed, which is noteworthy.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to have malice behind it. It's just literally how she sees things.
Yeah.
It's how we see that mostly the way she describes Ciri. She loves her, it's her little sister, but yeah, she's so overwhelmed. Little Ciri.
Mm-hmm.
This really, really reminds me of my dynamic with my sister. So it's like I can't wait to see how this develops, because she wants to protect her sister. As much as there's this huge difference between the two of them, they're still sisters. They still have a relationship. So
yeah, like I could see this story going in such a direction that we get an encounter between the two, and Ciri's like, you didn't think I could thrive here. You did this for yourself, not for me, to prove that you could save everyone.
Mm.
I don't necessarily know that it'll go that way, but I could reasonably see it happening.
Mm.
It just depends on how big Sanderson wants to inflate Vivenna's ego, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
As expected, Vivenna finds the city atrocious.
The ugliest place she's ever seen, apparently.
Yep.
Okay. Well, stark difference to Ciri, of course.
Yes. We do learn that Vivenna didn't just up and start walking to Hallandren.
Mm-hmm.
She coordinated a mischievous plan in which she got a bunch of trustworthy fellows. She told her dad something to the effect of they were going to go out and gather rare dye far away, so they'd be gone for a while. Good plan, and it worked, and she ended up sending everyone except for Parlin back.
Mm-hmm. And I was surprised that Parlin is General Yada's son. I didn't think that I just thought it was just, they were kind of going to be promised to each other, but then the treaty happened or whatever. But actually they're close. He likes her. She knows he likes her, but there's no indication that she likes him back.
Right. In fact, I felt really bad for Parlin when she's like, take that hat off. You look ridiculous. And he's like, but they said it was fashionable.
Yeah.
Poor Parlin.
And I was thinking, actually, you guys are standing out. Okay. You carrying on about this, oh, we stand out, mustn't stand out. It's like, but you stand out when everybody else is colorful. You're identifiable as Idrian.
Yeah. Remind me the name of the character, the wolf mentor guy to Perrin.
Elias.
Elias, yes. Parlin reminds me of Elias a bit in the description about how Parlin's a man of the woods and he's animal-like.
Yeah. Yeah, the smells of people are like everything overwhelms him. And yes, there's also a description of him walking with, there was a very wheel of time walking with a predator's grace or something
Yeah.
like that.
Isn't it great that we can comment like that now that I'm reading it?
Yeah, exactly.
Parlin lets her know that there's a large amount of Idrians in the city, and it's like, wouldn't you have known that, Vivenna?
Well, yeah, I don't think so. She's just an ignorant girl, I suppose. Maybe she thinks why she just was in this idea of no, everything we need is in Idris. We don't know, Idrians don't need to leave. Our country is great. It's the best place. So why would they leave? And then she has a bit more of an idea. It's just that she was thoughtless. It really was just a thoughtless view of the world.
Yeah. Again, Sanderson is balancing the condescension with the love for Ciri because she tries not to think of Ciri as less useful. She's the one that makes everyone smile, and it's a really sweet moment. So, But
she definitely understands the decision her father made. In that paragraph, it's about her understanding her father's decision that, this was the reason he did it. But yes, she at least still has that little bit of feeling that, hey, Ciri, she loves Ciri.
Yeah. We also learned that to avoid Dedalin sending soldiers after her, she had basically threatened to walk right up to the court of gods and say there was a mistake and she was intended to be sent, not Ciri.
Then you got both. Yeah.
Yeah. But also by that point, I'm kind of thinking Suzebron probably already likes Ciri by this point. So that would not work out as well as Vivenna might think it would. We learn that Dedalin has a spy in the city, Lemix, the chief spy. And I will have things to say on that in the next chapter. But
can we talk about poor Parlin checking out a girl?
Yes,
he's
please.
He's not checking out a girl, but like his eyes follow. Because can you imagine, he's used to just the woods and Idrian fashion, which goes all the way up to the neck, you know? And now there's a lot of things that he is not used to seeing. And so his eyes just wander a bit. And very funny thing was Vivenna then sees this and observes the person and thinks of them as a hussy.
Yes.
The hussy was wearing something, which is like, oh, okay, so I don't like, look, we know that he likes me. I don't know if I like him, but he's not allowed to like anyone else.
Yes.
Like kind of.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, that was a great exchange. They get to the restaurant, and I note that there's a signboard with a picture of a boat on it.
Yeah.
Repetition from Light Song. What does it mean? They order fish stew, which makes me hungry for fish stew. So there you go on that.
Not for me, thanks.
No?
Maybe some ramen. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not a huge seafood person.
Fair. We also get Vivenna having a really tough time controlling her hair this chapter. And that seems like a big deal with how much it was emphasized that she's very good at doing that in the past.
Yeah. And she was in the beginning, she had changed her hair to like gray because she was going to impersonate an older woman or try and appear as one. And then they found out there's Idrians. And then she does say that, in Bavalas, she'd be recognized instantly. But then we have a lot of Idrians. Couldn't she be recognized by them as well? But I suppose we can just explain that away and be like, well, they're traders. They're not really from Bavalas.
Yeah.
So
I assumed they were immigrants.
Like their trade, they would move in between, I think, the two countries. But I don't think the people in Bavalos are the kind of people that move very far.
Yeah.
They're where they need to be. Yeah.
Yeah. So Parlin is very, very uncomfortable by the amount of people and the lack of nature.
Mm-hmm.
And he's uncomfortable in the restaurant as well. So he steps out.
Oh, just he steps out. The fact that her hair, this hair control thing.
Mm-hmm.
She says that the change was subtle enough that if someone had been watching, they would probably think it was just trick of the light. But we know that an awakener is able to see true tones, so they would know exactly that is different. So if we've got like Vasher washing her or something, he knows instantly there is a, and it shows as well how much she doesn't know about awakeners.
Also true.
Yeah.
Vivenna contemplates whether or not she should have sent Parlin back, but she really needed a friend, and it's really emphasized important it is that she find Lemix. Lemix will know what to do. She really does not know what to do.
Yeah, like she has like some sort of plan of, oh no, we can try and make the gods think that Ciri's dead, and then they go home. Basically, it's like get Ciri out before the war, essentially. Yeah. But she doesn't know how to do that, and her whole plan was just, okay, get there and speak to Lemix, make a plan there.
Yeah. And it's interesting because we joked about her going up to the palace earlier, but I kind of thought that was going to be her plan. She was just going to walk in and say, I'm the queen's sister. I demand to see her. And then she'd be the only one in all of Hallandren to just issue orders like that, because no one else does. Anyway, we get the mercenaries and we get more standard Sanderson banter. I'm sorry, I don't mean to diminish it quite like that, but it is becoming very typical of exchanges that he writes.
Well, it's enjoyable. I enjoyed them.
Yes. I'm saying I'm not trying to diminish it. But I am also trying to be concise and time conscious as we go through this. He makes a joke, the first of the two mercenaries, about how mercenaries don't get any respect. Assassins do, but mercenaries, they just don't get no respect.
Right, like he makes a comparison, I think, with a bakery or something. So it's like, yeah, it's just like, well, nobody gets angry at them for just selling to the highest bidder, and that's your introduction to these people. You're like, oh goodness, like because of how flippant it was, I was like, okay, is this Vasher? How is this? And then
I did wonder.
Yeah, I did wonder as well, because I was like, I noticed the hair thing, so I was like, maybe this is Vasher, and then long face, and the second guy sat down. So then you're like, oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah. And then they threatened to kill her, which brings us to chapter 10. Yeah?
Yeah.
The summary. The mercenaries laugh at their joke, threatening to kill her, then banter about their profession. Eventually it dawns on Vivenna that these men work for Lemix. They inform her that Lemix is ill, then give her a note from him which appears to be authentic. She decides to go with them. Later, Vivenna sits by Lemix's side. He is dying and vacillates between bouts of lucidity. Vivenna steels herself and begins to ask for information on his spy network so that she may proceed without him. Lemix thinks that he's being tortured for information. Vivenna realizes Lemix is an awakener with a wealth of breath. He begins to confess the sin of having taken breath. One of the mercenaries, Denth, not so subtly offers her advice that she should take his breath before he dies so that she may make her own spy network. Vivenna does not want to take the breaths. The mercenaries don't want to either. She orders Denth to take the breath, then she decides that none of them should take the breath. Lemix then forces the breath upon Vivenna, who becomes overwhelmed by the influx of detail. That summary, as I wrote it, reminded me to bring up the topic of, do you think parents pass on their breaths to their children before they die? Just generally speaking?
I wonder if that's a thing that you should do, but it might be that then you are giving your soul away. You're not resting.
Yeah.
So that would probably be the feeling.
Yeah. And I feel like if that were common practice in Idris, certain thoughts that the characters have, they wouldn't. So it's definitely not an Idris thing.
Yeah. And also just giving away one breath is, yeah, okay, fine. It's nice, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose if you're an awakener parent, that is something you should do. Like, you should give the the breaths away.
Yeah.
Like, that's a waste.
Yeah.
Inheritance.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the chapter that I am going to complain about in this episode.
Go ahead.
I did not like it.
Why?
I felt that it was too serendipitous, the whole situation. A little too convenient. Things kind of just fell into place. I think it's strange that Vivenna didn't know exactly how old Lemix was. She finds herself in this city with no idea of what to do or how to do it, and her only ally there happens to die, leaving her with a wealth of breath that she manages to get just in time because the guy essentially dies pretty much right after, I think, if I recall it correctly. He lasted just long enough to do that. Now, I will say the thing that I like about the situation very much is how unholy Vivenna finds the circumstance of having the breaths. And we'll talk about the breath being forced upon her, but so that situation I like. It screamed way too serendipitous and convenient for me. What do you think?
I enjoyed it. I was in it. I was I was with the character in it, so I wasn't thinking, oh, this is too convenient, whatever. I was just, cool, let's see how she reacts to having breath. And yeah, I did consider, well, why is this guy sick? Has somebody poisoned him? That sort of thing did cross my mind in terms of, I suppose you could get that, like, it seems very convenient. And I did wonder if this is the guy at some point. I did go,
are there
wait,
no other spies?
But no, that's not that there's no other spies. She doesn't have access to them. He had codes and everything, but he was dying, so he didn't give her any codes. The thing he would give is the breath instead.
It still feels serendipitous that he just happens to die then and there, but
yeah, of course.
But I'll loosen some of my aggravation. I think that's a fair. The banter continues. They do inform her that they work for Lemix and that he requested they take her to him. They present her with a paper which does have an accurate passcode in it. There are two passcodes in it. One is fake and one is real. And she recognizes that, but she's still uncertain. And nevertheless, she does decide to go, which is for the best because it was real. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if she had much of a choice anyway.
Yeah. And we get there, and Lemix is not lucid for the moment. He looks old and frail to her. She feels like she's losing a dear friend, even though they had never met. Okay? And then, very princess-like, she takes charge. She understands the priorities. She's like, Lemix, give me the passcodes. I need to know who works for you so I can meet with them. And Lemix thinks that she is some sort of Hallandren torturer trying to get information. So it's established right away that he is a very loyal follower of Idris, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, loyal follower, but did land up taking breath. So it's like he took it, but it would help him out, it would help him do his job.
Yeah. I think Sanderson tries to make us feel for the guy, but again, I was just thinking, I don't really feel for this guy. I don't know him. Anyway, the room's light flickers, and Vivenna realizes that Lemix had a bunch of breath, which she hadn't expected. And I read that and I'm like, Vivenna, he's a spy. he'd give himself away if he didn't have any breath. He'd appear poor and have no influence.
And it's important to notice that she doesn't even know what was happening. What happens seems like when you're dying, you start leaking breaths essentially.
Yes, that's a big thing.
And it like goes. It's that's what's happening now.
Yeah, it almost
and
makes
he doesn't
me,
know what it is. Yeah,
yeah, it almost makes me wonder if you like self-destruct or something.
No, I think it just goes away.
Yeah,
because they weren't worried about it. They didn't. They were like, oh well.
Yep.
Yeah, and she goes, that's impossible. Just because he's Idrian, he'd never accept breath. So that's the whole idea. It's like there are gray areas that you can accept breath and still be Idrian, and he's assimilating. He's got to fit in, and he explains why we get an explanation for why he took the breath.
In a bout of lucidity, he explains that men with breath are respected. It got him into the court of gods and the court assembly. It extended his life.
And he got it from his predecessor. So does that mean there was another spy master, and that spy master also had breaths? And then
I think so.
Yeah. And when I heard the court of gods, it gets you to the court of gods. I'm like, oh, she needs these breaths. Because she needs to get to the court of gods. So come on now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That said, he feels he is damned for having taken breath.
And that's why he's dying as well.
And then Denth, whom I like because he takes this point to try and offer Vivenna some advice. And I like the dialogue about which he makes his point. He suggests that she should take the breath so she can make her own spy network. Vivenna refuses to do it at first, and she realizes she needs it, and she considers ordering one of the mercenaries to take it for her, but she also realizes that that's no better than doing it herself, essentially. And neither of them want it because they don't want targets on their back. But she does order one of them to do it, but then she's like, no one's going to do it. So at the end of the day, she landed on, it is unholy. Even though I could really use it, I will not take it. And I have respect for her for that. I really do.
Yeah, she believes these are the souls. This is, she says, like, a man who took breath from others is worse than a slaver. So it's like, yeah, okay, cool. That's somebody who took something. But what about it being forced upon you?
Yeah. So that's another one of the big reveals of this chapter, which is to say she does not want it, but it is forced upon her. So you can force your breath upon people. You can't forcibly take it, but go on.
Yeah, but then, or maybe there's something that you would need to do. Maybe she doesn't know. Maybe it just automatically, maybe you would, I don't know. We could learn something extra, but it seems, yes, you can force this onto people. As soon as you have pronounced who it's supposed to go to, that's it. She even tries to close her mouth. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but it goes through.
Then I don't breathe it. Yeah, because it's not breath. It's life. It's soul. Yeah. So, yeah, very interesting thing of, okay, yeah, if you can't reject being given breath, what do you do with it then? Do you give it away again? I think she did think at some point, because it's all very confusing. I don't even know chronologically. But at some point she did think, oh, she could find the people and give their breaths back because they don't know anything about.
Yeah. I do note that despite the fact that it says his eyes lose their luster, etc., I don't think it actually explicitly states that he dies either, though he's clearly on his way out, I think. So maybe I was harder on this chapter than I needed to be, but I do still feel much of it was a bit convenient. But now that we're here, I am excited, very excited to see her experience the breath and deal with that and what she chooses to do with it.
Yeah, and her understanding that, actually getting more of an understanding of what awakeners do and what having breaths is. I think, of course, she's going to still see it as perverse. I mean, even she has perverse pleasure from it. But yeah, so she's going to see it as a curse, of course, and unclean and everything. But at the same time, she's experiencing a very rich life, and she's also able to feel other people. Like all of this is a huge awakening, right? A heightening, and it'll be interesting to see how she deals with that.
Yes, very much so. And that brings us to chapter 11, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. The summary which I wrote. Ciri pleads with Treladies that she be allowed out of the palace. She's frustrated that she can't explain why it's so important that she be let out to see the sky or meet with someone to talk to. Vivenna would have been able to explain the situation to satisfying results. Treladies becomes upset when Ciri asks for an exception. She eats dinner, aching from having spent 6 nights uncomfortably on the floor. Later, Ciri's ready to meet with the God King. Bluefingers appears nervous. He inquires how the nights have gone with the God King. Ciri decides to play along. Bluefingers offers a cautious warning to her that not is all as it seems in the palace, then shoves her into the room. Ciri resumes her place on the ground and tries to demystify the mysterious warning. As she imagines that Vivenna would have been smart enough to figure everything out, she realizes that she isn't Vivenna, she's Ciri. Frustrated, she looks at Susebron and shouts for him to get on with it. Terrified, she looks away. After minutes of waiting to be killed for her insolence, she looks up at him to find that he has moved. Susebron appears to have sat up straighter. He is cold and distant, but not angry. She stares at him. They stare at each other for hours until Susebron's usual exit time, at which point he leaves and Ciri climbs into bed.
Something has happened, finally.
Yes, a little bit of a status quo shift.
Progress, yeah.
So, I appreciate how aggravating Ciri is to Treladies in this chapter. Like,
because she's just not supposed to. This is just not a thing. We don't do this. We don't make exceptions. This is how the world works.
Yeah. And it's funny because there's this weird power dynamic thing going on where Treladies needs her dismissal for him to be able to go. But he's like not able to give her what she wants. Again, I'm thinking, Ciri, you could just essentially hold him hostage until he like agrees. And Treladies gets so offended when she basically says, your city is known for its laxness. And he's like, there are no exceptions in religion. I really enjoyed the exchange. And it feels good to see Treladies so aggravated.
Yes. He even gets upset because she has to walk through doors before him.
Yeah.
And he just seems a bit so yeah, he's not her fan at all, and somehow just the way that he says vessel comes across so much worse. Yeah, we do not like him.
Now, that said, Ciri, it's been 6 days and you were told a week. So wait for the full week and then see what your new limits are and then fight against those limits. Though I do understand going stir crazy.
Yeah, she's going stir crazy. It's fine. But I mean, like, you can read a book or whatever, but yeah, we get an explanation. She doesn't really own anything.
Yeah.
And also she can't, she doesn't know how to, we get a lot of her thinking of how Vivenna would deal with things.
Yes, and it's a very sharp contrast to all of Vivenna's thoughts about Ciri. Ciri really holds Vivenna up on a pedestal. But I'm really getting the sense, especially if the interaction with the God King in this chapter means that he becomes interested in her. I really can't imagine Vivenna having much headway with him in the way that Ciri can.
Yeah, because she's different. She's doing something interesting to him. But we don't even know what capacity this vessel, this guy has. Because I don't know, I'm wondering, like, he's a stillborn and then he came back to life. Is he an adult now? I don't understand. I really don't understand. But yes, he's obviously been alive many, many years now. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But I would like, I would like him to, it's kind of like with Khal Drogo and what's it, Daenerys kind of thing, where they're actually, like it's very scary in the beginning, but then later on, actually it becomes quite
Stockholm.
a loving. Yeah, well, Stockholmy, but still, she does love him. So I would like that, if anything. And the whole thing with Ciri has just reminded me of Daenerys. At least showed Daenerys.
Sure. There is a thought that she accounts for everyone she's interacted with, except for the God King, if that could even be called interacting. And I think that's a subtle hint that she might end up interacting with him in this chapter, which she does end up doing. Then, as she's prepared to go in, Bluefingers is late, and he comes in and he's a bit distracted, and Ciri even notes that he's nervous, and he starts inquiring about how it's going in the room. And at this point, I have filled in the blank that Vasher has made contact with Bluefingers, and that is the cause of the nervousness, I think, yeah?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I appreciate Bluefingers' comments that she seems tired all the time, and he presumes one reason when in reality it's that she's been forced to sleep in an uncomfortable position and then wake up halfway through the sleep cycle.
Yeah, exactly. But she's smart for letting that go. Just sure, of course.
Yes. He warns her to be careful, to stay alert. She thinks he's trying to say that she's in danger, essentially. And Bluefingers is like, no. Enjoy your evening. But as he's shoving her in, he's like, not everything is as it seems. Watch yourself. And again, I think that is possibly Vasher's doing. But we'll see more on that in the future, I'm sure.
Yeah, is it Vasher's doing, or is it him actually caring about her?
Yeah.
Getting, just becoming a bit attached to her, and usually bad things happen with queens and that sort of thing. Is it his own concern?
Yeah. But also I read that warning and I'm like, well, duh.
Yeah. Any political playground will be that way. I wondered if the actual palace, he's talking about the actual palace as well, but that's not something she needs to be worried about. So it's like, there must be rooms and rooms with furniture in and whatever. And it's like, well, it could just be, there's some sort of magic that works.
Yeah.
So I think he's talking in a more political manner.
Right. So she gets into position on the ground in the room, as she has done, and she tries to unravel what that warning was about. And she's frustrated that the fire in the room isn't large enough. Again, I'm trying to figure out what that fire is supposed to represent. Is it her life, her freedom? What? I don't know. As you had pointed out earlier, she feels so strongly that she is incompetent and Vivenna is perfect and would have had everything operating smoothly and efficiently and perfectly, which is great. I'm really looking forward to more sister interactions in the future, since we really haven't had any yet, but this book really feels like it's about the two of them. Yeah? Like more than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Getting extremely aggravated, she works herself up into a bit of a frenzy and shouts, "Will you please just get on with it?"
And then she's like, "Oh, damn it, I did that. Oops."
Yep. It felt very cathartic reading it.
Yes.
But then, of course, there's that cold drop after the silence. Her hair turns white. She thinks he's going to kill him. He doesn't even need to bring anyone in. He could just bring her dress to life and have it strangle her. She waits. You really feel the anxiety.
Yeah.
Eventually, she becomes brave enough to look up, and the king has changed his posture just a little bit. He stood up just a little bit straighter. She notes that he doesn't seem angry. He's just cold and distant. And she meets his eyes, And I'm telling you, this is what's going to make him fall in love with her. I feel very confident of that.
Because she's different. She's all of the previous ones have done all of this and just been obedient. Who knows what would have happened if the fire just went out eventually, you know?
Right.
Something like that. This was maybe her last chance.
Yeah, possibly.
But yeah, and she had to do something to please him in some way. And I found it quite endearing that suddenly because she looks at him, she's now facing him, she realizes again that she's naked. So she's been used to the fact that she's stripping. Okay. She's just such a brave girl. Just honestly, the way she deals with everything, that she's just fine. Okay. This is what I'm supposed to do. Like, I think that is an incredible characteristic. She's just doing what needs to be done. She really has done well. And then now she's, oh, damn it, I actually am naked in front of him. And now I see him looking at me and I'm looking at him, and this is strange. But I really enjoyed it. And I hope that it's not a violent relationship that we're going to see here.
Agreed. But no, I really believe the man who has everything he wants someone to challenge him.
Mm-hmm.
She decides that the God King's reputation is exaggerated, and she goes to sleep after the God King leaves. End chapter. I was so tempted to read the annotations for these last chapters because I was like, oh. But yeah, those will come on the second read through. I think that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else to say?
Like the video.
If you like. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great rest of your week. Subscribe to That Darn Kita if you get a chance, because she's got a great channel.
And subscribe to this channel because you know it's great.
It would be tremendously appreciated. And join the Discord. We've got a fun community over there as well. And we'll see you next time. Thanks, bye.
Bye.